Hi, I'm Daniel Zwerdling.
And I'm David Shipler. Two reporters start now.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, Danny. How you doing?
Great, thanks. And here's our mission today. We are going to hear music with a message, music with a social message. And our guest writes them specially for kids.
Anya Rose, welcome.
Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Anya Rose, you are part of a music group called Ants on a Log. You guys perform and record in Philadelphia, where you're based, but you also perform in other cities, and I know you perform at schools and at community festivals and libraries, right, so far?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and without further ado, let's hear the beginning of one of the songs your group has recorded. I love this one. It's called They're My Best Friend, and it's about getting rid of gender stereotypes.
Their favorite game is Monopoly.
Unless it takes 17 hours.
17 hours. Then they prefer finger paint twister. As long as there's time before bed for a shower. When's shower time?
At 8 p.m.
Okay, fine. Their name is Alex, like Alexander.
Or Alexandra.
Except without the ender.
Or Andra.
At the end. Yeah, there's no Ander or Andra at the end. They're just Alex, and they're my best friend.
Just Alex.
Got it.
Julie wrote They're My Best Friend as the first, well, it ended up becoming the first song that got national airtime with they, them pronouns. So that was pretty exciting. People can have lots of different factors to them, and their pronouns are just one part of their identity.
That's a lovely song. And we're delighted to say that another guest is joining us, Sam Pappas.
Hey!
In the interest of full disclosure, I should say that Sam and I are related. His grandfather was my cousin. So, Sam, thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me over.
Sam, you're right in the target group that Anya and her band compose for. How old are you exactly?
Well, I'm 11. 5th grade.
Although going into 6th grade in the fall.
Yeah.
Oh, I love 5th graders. 5th grade is such a great time because it's just like a great little point of age where kids are really like able to explore complex issues and also have a little humility still.
Anya and Sam, Danny and I are both old enough to remember when music had a social purpose, the civil rights movement, We Shall Overcome, anti-war songs, and so forth.
And it's 1, 2, 3, what are we fighting for? Don't ask me, I don't give a damn. Next stop is Vietnam. And it's 5,
More recently, and we've all seen Sesame Street, I think, and they sing great messages about building friendships, self-confidence, picking up trash. But what grabs us about your songs, Anya, is that they're a bit edgier. In fact, some of your music teaches children in elementary school how to organize around important social problems like pollution, combating corporate greed, lobbying members of Congress, and that's kind of thing. So we're going to listen to some and get Sam's reaction to some of them, too.
Sam, just hold on. We'll get back to you in a moment. But Anya, you were nodding your head as Dave was saying all that.
Yes, Sesame Street was a big influence to me as a child. So I remember watching their segments and then later learning that they were designed to be kind of like commercials, that the developers of Sesame Street noticed that kids got these short segments that were commercial jingles in their head and memorized them. And they said, well, why can't we do that with the alphabet and learning to count? I loved how they used these short little songs that kind of got stuck in your head, but were also educational. So for us in Ants on a Log, we also try to have these like songs that, I mean, we don't quite do that part on purpose, but they do end up getting stuck in your head. And so why not have the stuff that gets stuck on your head be positive messages?
Sam, you want to add something?
Your comment about kids memorizing jingles from ads is true because everyone in my school has memorized the Burger King jingles and have made up alternate versions.
And I read on your website that one of your influences was also listening to Tom Lehrer. Your stepfather used to play a lot of Tom Lehrer satirical songs.
And we should probably explain to listeners who Tom Lehrer was. Tom Lehrer was a satirist who made fun of all kinds of, very important things in the society and had a real, good social message. Was it the content or the music? I mean, what was it, Anya, that drew you to Tom Lehrer?
Yeah, Tom Lehrer was a huge influence of mine. My dad and my stepdad had so many records, and one day I found Tom Lehrer's album, That Was the Year That Was. I think it was from 1965. I forget which year it was, actually.
Oh, the white folks hate the black folks, and the black folks hate the white folks. To hate all but the right folks is an old established rule, but during National Brotherhood Week, National Brotherhood Week.
I think I must have been about 10 or so at the time when I discovered that album. And first, the music was just really catchy and fun, and I could tell that it was funny, but I didn't quite know what it was about. And so I learned the lyrics before I learned what some of the songs were
Oh,
about.
the Protestants hate the Catholics, and the Catholics hate the Protestants, and the Hindus hate the Muslims, and everybody hates the Jews, but during...
And so that is part of the experience I want to give to kids at times. Like, they might learn a song when they're 8 years old, and then suddenly they're singing it when they're 12 or humming it absentmindedly, and they suddenly know, oh, that's what the EPA is.
Lots of factories are built right next to rivers and to streams, and all the waste that they create can't just be thrown into the water. The EPA makes sure they keep it clean. EPA.
I thought, I don't think people actually know what the EPA is. What's that?
I was mouthing, I know what it is.
Oh, you know what the EPA is? What's the E EPA?
It stands for the either Environmental Protection Act and Environmental Protection Agency.
Yes, the Environmental Protection Agency.
One of the things about your songs that really strikes us is that you don't scold. You don't say, you should not pollute. Your songs are all upbeat and they're funny.
Yeah, exactly. That's like a huge, huge, huge part about what I want to do.
Well, I own a factory.
You do?
Yes, and, I only dump 10 cloggedy-clogfuls of muckety-muck in the river every day.
Muckety muck? Every day? Oh my gosh, that's a lot.
Well, I don't think that's a lot.
That's a lot.
No, it's not.
That's a
lot.
great
No, it's
song.
not.
That's a
That's a
great
lot.
song.
No, it's not.
As a songwriter and also as somebody who works with kids, I mean, if you want somebody to not do something, tell them that they should do it. Humor is the only way that you're going to get through. It's almost like the court jester whose job is to bring these serious things to light.
Yeah, I wanted to say to your comment about not beating people over the head with it, that's like soft power kind of vibes.
What do you mean by soft power?
Like not forcing it or pushing it onto someone, like telling them like, hey, maybe instead of saying do this or all this stuff's gonna happen, you're saying, and your songs are saying, well, if you do this, it will help, and you'll probably get a more positive response from like people who can change things, like government figures and other people in power.
That sounds like you're saying also that a positive message, that is what you can do, works better than a, alarmist, sound the bells and the whistles and the horns, we're going to really go down the tubes.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. You want to give some kind of warning, but you don't want to be like, it's inevitable, or something like that.
Anya, it sounds like you and Sam are on the same wavelength.
I'm always so impressed with the next generation. I think they get it. They get it. I'm impressed that you have this word soft power. I didn't know that before. So that's great. That warms my heart. I love hearing that, Sam. So thanks for sharing.
And Anya, what prompted you to write the EPA song? Was it something specific or?
Yeah. I wrote that when Trump was in power and he was cutting all these governmental programs. And a lot of people didn't really understand what the EPA did and didn't realize what a big deal it is that something like that would be cut, and also what a big deal it is and how amazing it is that we have a branch of the government that does what the EPA does. So I wrote a song just explaining what it does. And the song is like kind of kooky and silly, but it's also just something that people can look back to and be like, oh, maybe learn something.
EPA, the referee in the game of life, fighting for the earth.
I think that referee thing is pretty good because a lot of the kids watch sports, a lot of kids play sports, a lot of kids are familiar with what referees do. And I think this sort of dialogue kind of thing about dumping stuff in water, I think that's a really good sort of way to show what the corporations and the factory owners think they're doing and what they should be doing and what they're not doing.
Oh my gosh, I love this kid. I guess my main thing is that I want kids to know that there's a whole interesting way that the government works. I guess like when you hear the word government, what do you think of?
Well, I think of a mixture of pride and anger. The government can at times be sort of protecting force, but it can also be just a bunch of squabbling white men in a big building.
Right, government can get a bad rap when things aren't working functionally, but also the government is us. The government is the people. We are the government.
Yeah, that's the sort of way democracy rolls, meaning it can change. Nothing is really certain. With democracy, the people can choose what the government does by taking individuals and making sure that those individuals can get to a seat of power, not just by like doing something for someone or just having a lot of money.
I just wanted to reintroduce our guests. Sam Pappas is a fifth grader who is really a bright kid, we can tell. And Anya Rose is with Ants on a Log, which does great music for kids addressing social issues.
And speaking of democracy, Anya and Ants on a Log have created a really fascinating, to me, very unusual musical. It's called Curious. What it teaches is that kids, number one, can recognize problems. Number two, they can start organizing around those problems and doing research around the problems. And then they can actually lobby members of the government to try to solve the problems.
Okay, so we were trying to figure out what we wanted our musical to be about, and I was attending various protests in the city in the summer, including one by Philly Thrive, which is a group that is based in South Philadelphia, and their main goal was, at the time, to stop this oil refinery from expanding. It is one of the leading causes of asthma in the city. Anyway, so this group called Philly Thrive was protesting it, so we ended up basing our musical on that.
So let's start with a song from Curious, where kids are standing in line in the pharmacy because they've got coughs and
Having trouble breathing.
they're trying to get some medicine to feel better.
Taylor, it's not just you.
Whoa, yeah, all of these people are sick? Hello, person I don't know in line.
Hello.
Are you getting an inhaler for your asthma too? That's what I'm getting.
Taylor, you can't ask that.
Why, yes, I am.
Oh, you too?
I look around me and I see
Everyone is sick.
they're tired, angry, sick, and sick of
They're
it.
lining up to see the doctor, but they don't know when.
And when they leave, we see they have more bags of medicine. Is this normal? Is this how we're supposed to live?
Sam, thoughts, please.
I think that it's a pretty good call out because is it normal that kids have to go to a pharmacy to get medicine? After school, they're supposed to be like outside doing things or going to the candy store for some reason, even though the CVS by my school is basically our candy store.
I mean, this is a whole album of songs that almost together make a story about this oil refinery based on what you told us, Anya, the real thing. So now we're going to skip down and we're going to play one that's called Research.
We search and we search and we search and search and then we search again. And that's why it's called research. Because once is not enough, no, we're not satisfied at all.
CSOR. Canadian Sandwich Operating Room. That can't be it. Central Scotland Omnivorous Rabbits? Interesting.
I'm tired.
What? We just started.
I'm hungry.
A sandwich operating room does sound
Research
good.
is boring.
Here we go. City Solutions Oil Refinery. This is the place the news was talking about. And on those guys' jackets.
So what's this searching all about?
Figuring out that the oil refinery exists, that's like burning the oil, that's putting smoke into the air, that's giving all these people coughs, and maybe even some serious like medical disorders like asthma or bronchitis.
Sam, I'm sure you use Google, right, to search for history
Google,
papers
Safari, Yahoo.
How do you know what's true and what isn't, Sam? Because there's so much falsehood on the internet. How do you decide what you can believe and what you can't?
Multiple sources. When I was doing a thing on offshore drilling, I found Greenpeace, a bunch of environmental organizations that I've heard of and I trust because I also found it on other sites. Like, my example was British Petroleum. They pled guilty to violating the Clean Air Act, meaning that they probably knew that they did, but they didn't, take the time to fix it because someone figured out and went to court.
Now, how do you know how to do this, Sam? Did you learn this in school or what? I mean, the triangulation of multiple sources and selecting which ones to believe.
Like our teachers, they want us to use multiple sources. You look up those sources. You quote them. It's been taught. And I also have a sort of sense. I have this gut instinct that you should do something again and again.
You have a spidey sense to get multiple sources.
Yes.
You can also call it common sense, of which there's too little in this country.
I would like to say for the record that when I was in 5th grade, I am sure we did not study offshore drilling.
No. Well, I don't. Yeah, no, that's for sure. Was there offshore drilling when we were in 5th grade?
Was there oil?
Was there? Yeah. We had whale oil, wasn't that?
I chose to study offshore drilling. No one assigned it to me. I was like, this sucks. I'm gonna choose to study it.
That's awesome.
Anya, as a science teacher, and I've seen videos you've put on the web to help get your kids excited about science experiments. I really enjoyed watching them. Is there something you've learned from your students that helps inspire you in writing and performing this music?
Well, I'm always aware of how my students react to music, and I'm always trying to be aware of the stuff they're thinking about. Their concerns, that's a big influence on me. And also their sense of humor. What are they laughing at?
There's a song, we'll skip down a few in this album, called Air and Space. Anya, do you want to say anything about this song before we play it?
Air and Space is just to add a fun character to the play, to show one aspect of obstacles that people can come across when trying to make these kinds of changes.
Actually, before we talk too much more about the message of the song, I'd love to hear a little bit and then see what Sam thinks. Let's not be spoilers.
Hello, Uncle Steve? Mind if I come in?
Cleo, what a lovely surprise!
Hi! I have a question for you about the oil refinery.
Ah, yes, the oil refinery. Well,
Yeah,
did
I was
ever tell you about the time
wondering-
that I was having lunch with myself? And I just had this
No,
amazing invention. It was very innovative, and now this is related to the oil refinery. You just have to wait. Just wait a second. So
okay.
I was making this amazing sandwich, and I put together peanut butter and, wait for it, jelly. Now, I know
Wait,
you've
I
never heard of that.
don't think you invented that.
Yes, I invented that. It was a snowy day in January.
I loved
remember
seeing Sam's
it was
reaction
beautiful
to
because
Uncle Steve saying he invented peanut butter and jelly.
Sam was doubled over in laughter during that whole song.
I think that is showing how hard it can be to get people to listen to kids, because kids are stupid and they don't know anything, so we've got to decide what's best for them. And yada, 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 yada. Boring adult nonsense.
I just hate it when people talk down to kids. I remember adults speaking to me like that when I was a child and just being like, you don't have to talk to me like that. You can speak to me like a normal person. I put a lot of thought actually I put a lot of thought into everything, but I put a lot of thought into the idea of not really listening and just responding with what you know without really listening to what someone else wants to know. And then there is, of course, this idea of mansplaining. And I often see people in the audience like nudging their partner when they hear it. Like, see, this is what you do. And I love the realization that the two characters come to.
And these two characters are girls, right?
One of them is a girl. The other one is non-binary. Taylor goes by they, them.
Well, that's good. That's good that you have the diversity in, gender, sex, affiliation, stuff like that.
One of the songs that I love most in this musical, it's called Anyone Can Write a Letter. And this is about how anybody at any age can write letters to government officials and try to, pressure them to do something. Let's hear that one, please.
A letter?
Yes, Uncle Steve said anyone can write a letter to Congress. Oh, there you are, Pencil.
Wow, anyone can write a letter.
Yes, and that's what politicians are for. You can call them and tell them about all your problems. Let's see. Dear Mr. Senator, my name is Cleo.
And my name is Taylor.
And we're worried about the oil refinery that City Solutions is planning to build in our town.
Sam, have you ever written a letter to some sort of official about a social problem?
No, I've had the thought, but I could never figure out what to put in it, and I could never figure out what to say.
Well, Sam, I don't think there's any rush that you have to write letters to politicians. I'm sure they'll hear from you one day, probably sooner rather than later. In any case, Cleo and Taylor's campaign against the oil refinery takes off in the musical Curious, and we urge you, our listeners, to hear the entire musical so you can find out what happens next. But before we go, Dave, you want to bring up one more song, and this one is not from the musical.
I just wondered, there's a song, Had to Stand Up, about racism and how to stand up against it.
Yeah, Julie wrote that song during the pandemic and that summer of 2020 when a lot of the Black Lives Matter protests were happening.
You have a talented collaborator.
Yeah. And Julie wanted an example for kids who want to be allies to people of color.
I love taking my shoes off in the sandbox. The sand feels cool to the touch. I'm building my own sandcastle kingdom. I wish I could live there so much. 'Cause yesterday I saw a kid who looked like me playing right here under my favorite tree. But he was being mean to somebody on our playground, calling him names because his skin was brown. Should I just stay quiet, don't cause a big scene? Will I get in trouble? Will that kid be mean to me?
Yeah, that definitely feels like something that would happen, because during Black Lives Matter, during pretty much any time racism was mentioned, it was hard for people to stand up.
Yeah, I did a book on race some years ago, and one thing I was told by blacks was how hurtful it was when, not only when some white person would make a racist remark, but how other white people, teammates, friends, would not stand up for them, would not say anything, would just were silent. So it doubled the wound.
Exactly. And the whole silence is violence phrase, that's true. Well, here's another thing. I think the word racist and the noun racist is really tricky, because when someone's displaying racist behavior, people are very averse to being called that, because most people are not intending to be racist, but it is something that we have all done. It's hard to use the noun, you are a racist. No, you're just exhibiting racist behavior, and you can correct that.
I think you're absolutely right, Anya, because the term racist is categorical, and we know that human beings actually fall along a spectrum, even prejudiced people, from bad to worse, and that you could say prejudice, or they're stereotyping, or they're generalizing, or, as you say, exhibiting racist behavior, which leaves open the possibility of nuance, and people have the possibility of improving and correcting. And that's important not to slam the door on those differences.
I didn't know what I should say. First I just asked, hey, are you okay? We both turned to the mean one, my chest felt so tight. It was hard to get the words to sound right. He said, that's not fair, and I said, yeah, that's not right. We said, do you know what it means to have skin dark or light? And I looked at my own skin and saw it was light too. And I hoped I'd never done what I saw that kid do. But that's how I knew I had to stand up, yeah. That's how I knew I had to stand up. Couldn't sit there anymore.
Well, Anya Rose, after people hear your music, what do you want them to walk away with? The kids, especially.
Yeah, what do I want them to walk away with? I think a feeling of hope, a smile on their face, some laughter, and maybe something that gets stuck in their head that they later realize is useful.
Anya Rose writes songs and sings and plays instruments with a group called Ants on a Log.
And I also really appreciate just hearing Sam. There are many kids like Sam out there who are paying attention, who have good insight, and who we should be learning from.
And by the way, schools can, and schools do, perform your musical Curious, right?
Yes.
And you can find out more on the group's website, which is
AntsOnALogmusic.com. Also, I have my own website. I don't know if that's appropriate, but it's anyarose.org. That also has stuff about my teaching.
And we also want to give a big thanks to Sam Pappas for joining us.
Pappas, it's Greek, and just so you know, it's 1P. The people who gave me an art award got that mixed up.
I'm glad you got the award anyway.
Hearing you, talking to you, Anya, and talking with you, Sam, makes me feel a little bit more hopeful about the world, which otherwise gets me depressed really often.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, Anya, thanks for this, and thanks for what you do, because I think these are wonderful songs. I wish all teachers would use them and get their kids animated and excited.
Well, thank you. All right, bye. Bye, Sam.
And that's it for this episode of Two Reporters.
You'll find us on Apple, Spotify, or pretty much any leading podcast site. And we hope you'll check out more of our work at tworeporters.org. I'm David Tripler.
And I'm Daniel Zwerdling. Please join us again soon for another episode of Two Reporters. Bye-bye.